Good morning, good life. Welcome back to Amy TV, where we come together to help you go after the life you want. So, I quit my morning routine. I don't even know where to begin with this right now. I got some very nice messages recently asking me, what's going on? You didn't post last week on YouTube. It's been a little sporadic lately. I will completely admit to that. And in part because I am going through like an off period at the moment. When I say off period, like not feeling fully like myself. A very, very, very big reason for that is the reason why I'm talking about this topic in my video today. So I'll explain. But I do want to say thanks to everybody who's been reaching out. I mean, all things considered, everything's fine. I've just made a couple of adjustments because of personal things that are going on in my life right now. And I feel like I need to explain that because elephant in the room, I'm the morning routine lady. I wrote a book called Good Morning, Good Life. I'm a huge believer in the morning routine, starting the day on your terms and how it benefits you in your life. So I kind of want to unpack what's been going on with me because it feels like I can't even sit down and make another video until I just come clean with you, because I feel like that's the type of relationship that I have with you. So recently I came into some information about my body that I had some things I needed to work on in my health. Nothing crazy. All things considered, I'm in very, very, very good health, but some things that I definitely want to work on. And as I was trying to figure out, how do you not just get on a medicine for something? I don't think that medicine is bad. I definitely was initially trying to figure out how to not integrate it into my life and do something a little bit more natural at first. I'm not giving advice one way or the other. I just was curious about all of it. During that discovery process, I started reading a lot about this. I was listening to podcasts, all kinds of stuff, made an appointment with a holistic doctor, and finally got a chance to sit down with him. It actually takes some time sometimes to get into their office for the initial appointment, which is exactly what happened. I was sort of doing my own self-education in between booking and actually showing up for my first appointment. And so I kind of had told myself this story. You know how we do that? We're really good at that, right? About what was going to work to kind of help me get on the right track with this health issue that I was completely unfamiliar with, and basically decided I was a doctor. Like, oh, I know what to do. And then I went and finally got a chance to sit down with the doctor, and we just started really talking about everything. And what I loved about going to a different type of doctor was talking about things that maybe you forget to ask yourself often enough. Instead of like, what's the problem? It's like, what happened when the problem started, and unpacking that. And it was a pretty intense conversation. I would say it's not that I was down on myself. It was more just the eye-opening thought process of, even though I check all the boxes and I do all of these things and I read all these things and therefore I implement these things, and I feel like I'm a pretty great executor of good ideas as they pertain to my life, that I may not still be doing them to the level that my body needs it. So one of the biggest things that came up was sleep. And if you've read Good Morning, Good Life, if you watch any of my videos, if you talk to me, I will sit here and I'll stare you down in the face until you understand that the number one thing that you can do for yourself, whether it's just health in general, or losing weight, or feeling good, or being in a good mood, or waking up with the world on a plate for you to take, is sleep. And so I was really frustrated, I think, hearing like, still not sleeping enough? What? Like that was so crazy to me. But just to have the question asked of like, well, how much sleep do you get? And for me, it's always been like 7.5, sometimes 8 hours. But like, I love that like 7.5 was my sweet spot. But I hadn't quite decided why it was my sweet spot. I thought I knew. And I think that sweet spot was a combination of things, both productivity and my health. But as it turns out, just hearing the question, well, how much would you sleep if you didn't make yourself wake up? And that number not being the same, that was really, really eye-opening for me. And so I continued to back up the point that like, if you're not getting enough sleep, or if there is things going on with you and you feel like sleep could be connected, there is a very strong chance of that. One of the solutions that we came to in this doctor's appointment was around my sleep, and the idea that maybe during a healing period, and I want to say that because this as a long-term solution is so obnoxiously not gonna work, even though it's like, crap, it probably would benefit me a lot if I did it forever. The solution we came to was, well, maybe you need to sleep without your alarm clock for a while. And you got to understand, when I heard that, I was like, I cannot compute. Like, that is not a computation that will happen in this lifetime. You know, I sat there and I thought to myself, I own my own business. I wake up on my own terms. I have designed my life to do something like this if I wanted to. But what about the people who can't? Like, what about somebody who cannot go to sleep without setting their alarm clock? And I've always told myself that I was that person, but I do have a lifestyle where that doesn't have to be the case. So it was just like a lot of things changed when that became the conversation. It was like, okay, for a little while, and I don't know how long a little while is, because during a healing period, it has to do with like when you feel like it's been long enough. For a healing period, you're going to sleep without an alarm clock. And I have to say, I'm so grateful for my Apple Watch. Like, I don't know if you're one of those people that believes in sleeping with a device. I definitely don't sleep with my phone, but I can't stop sleeping without my watch because I nerd out so much over like my sleep tracker app and what it's telling me about how I slept and when I got disrupted or how much sleep. Because now that I have not been sleeping without an alarm clock, I'm learning so much about how much sleep I actually need. And where I've been getting 7.5 hours a night, maybe 8. On the weekends, definitely 8, probably even 9 on weekends. To then find out that like, oh no, Amy, you need 9 every day. That's a huge game changer. It's been a game changer for my health in a positive way, but it has been a game changer for somebody who really enjoys processes in a way that's like, I now have to reverse engineer something completely new. So you can imagine, you know, finding that out and realizing if I don't at least give this a try, because this is something that I cannot unknow. If I don't give this at least a try, then I'm not committing to my health. You can pay for meds, you can pay for IV infusions, you can pay for doctor's appointments, you can pay for vitamins. I'm taking so many freaking vitamins right now. You can do all of these things, but if you can't do the most basic thing that would probably help you the most, which is get that extra 1.5 hours of sleep per night, commit to it, then what's the point of the rest of it? Vin and I went out to lunch after, and I was really emotional because it was like, I thought I was doing it right. And I don't think that I'm not doing it right, but there's always things that you can do better, right? So as much as what I've been doing for the last 10 years has been working for me, it may not work now. And so that's been the realization. So when I say I've quit my morning routine, I have not quit what I believe starting the day on your terms looks like, but I have reshaped it from what it was before. If you saw my most recent morning routine video, there's a lot of things that I was packing into that time, and it really did make me feel so much like myself. But for the time being, that execution is taking away from my body. And so I have to reassess my priorities for now. So I have not been sleeping with an alarm clock for February, March, April. Oh, it's only been 2 months. Okay. So during this healing period, it has been 2 months of me not using an alarm clock. And that's been really weird because as soon as I wake up every morning, it feels like the weekend, because that's basically how I would conduct myself on Friday and Saturday nights or Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings. But it's immediately clear that that's not always the case 5 out of 7 times. So I have to make sure that I'm still starting the day on my terms. I still don't grab my phone. I still go straight to the bathroom and do my skincare. I still get this question all the time. Amy, do you do your skincare first thing in the morning, even if you're going to shower like later in the morning? I don't know what it is with this question. I think this is just different for everyone. For me, I have to wash my face when I first wake up in the morning and brush my teeth because I have to take my retainers out, and like, we need to get this right. I cannot operate if my face is not clean. That's just how I am. But if I take a shower later, I'll just rinse off and reapply moisturizer. So to those people who have been asking, but I'm still doing those things. I cannot proceed with the day without it. I do have to take a medication first thing in the morning, so I can't have my lemon water right away. I have to wait an hour for everything. So I'm just drinking straight water first thing in the morning. And then I do still have to do those things that are important to me: movement, mindfulness, mastery. The movement, skincare a little bit, but we've been going on walks because the weather has been so much better, obviously, as we're going into spring. Taking those walks first thing in the morning, even though my tendency is to feel like, oh my gosh, there's so many things I could be doing right now during that 20 or 30 minutes that we go on a walk, I have to let that go. And I have to just be like, just forget it, would you? Like, you need to get your life together. And right now, getting your life together means that you need to slow down. So by doing that movement first with my husband and Khaleesi, we walk around the neighborhood, and that's the reminder that, like, yeah, you're doing your morning routine right now, and your morning routine right now and for the foreseeable future is even slower than what it was before. After that is mindfulness, as always. I still use morning pages a lot of the time because I'm taking those judgments that I have for myself by not using an alarm clock right now and writing about it so that I can move on with my life and not be judging myself for the rest of the day. I love morning pages for offloading sort of like that yucky feeling. And then mastery, I dive into the first big hairy toad of a task for the day. It could be writing a video. It could be, really just anything challenging that doesn't require me being on camera first thing in the morning, just so it's done and out of the way. The makeup of a solid morning routine, I still believe, is so important, and it works. And I'm now proving the fact that even if you can't do what you've done in the past, or you can't do what somebody else is doing, that you can do what makes sense for you in this season of your life right now. This is what it looks like. I'm not gonna lie. I feel that part of the reason why I'm feeling less like myself lately is because my morning routine is so different. But I can't overlook the fact that I know that I'm doing something so positive for me by changing it up right now that I'm okay with just letting this be the process. I am looking forward to seeing 5 a.m. again, but that has not been happening. It's just not possible. It's not possible. So I want to stress this to everybody who's listening to me, like, Amy, oh my God, what is your life that you're complaining about the fact that you don't have to use an alarm? You can wake up on your terms. You can just focus on your health. You don't have a boss that's like breathing down your neck. You don't have this crappy job. Believe me when I say that my life is luxurious and privileged in a lot of ways. In some ways, because it has been my life. In other ways, because of what I have done to create that in my life. If you would have told me as a doctor 12 years ago, you need to wake up without an alarm clock, I would have been like, I can't do that. I have to report to a job. I have to wake up at this time just to get to work on time. And that doesn't include me taking care of myself in any way. Me showing up, reporting to the law firm, and clocking in is a non-negotiable. So I can completely understand why someone's listening to this like, oh, Amy, please, like, stop complaining. I'm not complaining. I just wanted to be open with you because I feel that this is Amy TV for a reason. I have things I want to share. I want to teach a process as I learn it. I have never been insecure about that in the past, being like, oh my God, look what I learned today, you guys. This is what I learned today and what I've been learning every day. It definitely just feels like something I wanted to get off my chest because it's like the last morning routine you saw from me is not my current morning routine. So I definitely think that we need a refresher for spring, a little spring morning routine. So I hope that this is an invitation to you if you're thinking, something's not right in my life, or I know I'm not doing the right thing for myself, but I can't do what somebody else is telling me to do, but what could I do? I'm just challenging you to look at what could you do that's right for you, because it may not be the comfortable thing. It may not be the easy thing. It may make you feel a little bit like an imposter sometimes, but it may be completely necessary. And I want to live to be 154 years old. So this is a really top priority for me. And that's why I wanted to share it with you. Thank you so much for indulging this little chat with me. I just felt like I had to just share this with you before we talked about anything else. I would love to hear any questions, any thoughts, any pointers, anybody who maybe does or doesn't sleep with an alarm. If you have additional thoughts on that, can you share them in the comments below? Because this really is a time of discovery for me. And I really would appreciate anyone who has thoughts on this, especially if you already watched this show. would be awesome if you'd share that with me. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Remember, subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. Cheers.